Got a new recruit to discuss. This time it is Utah Prep's Anthony Felesi, 6'5", small forward, 37th ranked player in the class per ESPN, 38th ranked player in the 2026 class per On3. He's averaging 12 points, 5 rebounds, 2 steals a game with Vegas Elite on the EYBL circuit right now. Vegas Elite, a team that's made some noise in the recent sessions at EYBL. But Anthony Felisi is hearing from some of the most prestigious programs in the sport right now. He gave an update and named Louisville, Creighton, BYU, and Houston as 4 schools that have really prioritized him that he's looking to set up visits to, and spoke a little bit on what the pitch has been from each of those 4 schools. You may have had light bulbs go off in your head when you heard me say Utah Prep, because yes, it's that Utah Prep. Anthony Felisi plays at the Utah Prep that AJ Dybantsa played at. This has become basically a BYU feeder prep program in the last couple of years. And I don't think it would be overstepping to say that BYU is probably the team to beat in this recruitment. Let's use Anthony's own words on this before we talk about his game. He said, quote, "I didn't realize BYU's whole staff had an NBA background until I got there. Thought it was just the head coach. But when I went on my visit, I saw it was the head coach all the way down to the strength coach and nutritionist. AJ Dybantsa is in my ear all the time, texting me and everything, telling me BYU is the place." So if you're Houston, if you're Creighton, if you're Louisville, good luck beating that. I mean, that is a pretty great starting point for a Utah Prep kid that's a top 40 recruit in the country. Dion, you can start wherever you want on this, the notes on the recruitment or just Anthony Felici's game in general.
I'm a fan of his game. He can shoot. He has balance. I think he's incredibly underrated. I also think Anthony Felisi believes he's incredibly underrated. He's like the Utah Prep version of the Caden Lewis, different games, but mindset wise, which I'm gonna love. I think AJ Dybantsa thinks he's incredibly underrated. I think there's an edge to him that not many top, we'll say 30 to 40 players in the country have, just because of that underrated aspect of him. And for that reason, I do love his game. I think BYU is the school. Let's be real, you're not going, and I mean this respectfully, because I hope to one day also get to go to Provo and experience Utah. You're not going to Utah for no reason. You're going to Utah Prep because you probably want to experience Utah, see what it would be like to be at BYU, right? Like, not too many people are like, I'm going to go to Utah Prep when you can go to Prolific, you can go to IMG. If you're going to these schools, you can go anywhere in the country, and you're choosing Utah Prep for a reason. Um, in terms of the staff, we're going to get into it on another short today. But obviously, AJ Dybantsa is starting to release like vlogs and everything. That staff is phenomenal. I would caution recruits. I would caution recruits. Those dudes are gone to the NBA too. The moment they get the moment they get the same opportunity AJ Dybantsa is going to get next year, they're also leaving BYU, I think, because that is an NBA staff through and through. Like I said, we'll get into it. But if you watch AJ Dybantsa's workouts, that's an NBA workout. That's not a college workout. Like, he's working out like an NBA player works out. He's lifting weights the way an NBA player works out. He's eating the way an NBA player eats. Everything they do is NBA. And I think it's going to make a lot of people want to come to BYU. And I think AJ Dybantsa is just the first domino. And I also think they're like, hey, we're going to give you like $30 million this year, probably, after everything. Like, you'll get 7 million from the school, another 20 from all this other stuff. Just please post the vlogs. That way everyone knows what we do.
Yeah, the ROI of Dybantsa is going to be interesting down the line, right? Like, they're trying such a unique approach with him in terms of letting him be like a content creator as much as a basketball player. And yeah, I don't know. It could lead to like a bunch of BYU gets that lead to more money for the school. Like, if you get Anthony Felisi, in part because AJ Dybantsa had a good experience here, then it's already paying for itself, I think. First off, I really love Anthony Felici's game. I love his tape. Like, you just watch videos of this kid scoring or playing anything he does in the basketball court, honestly, it's really poppy. There are some kids who, like, their game is quieter than their actual production. Like you would watch him and just have like a silent 20 and 4 or whatever. Anthony Felisi has allowed everything. Everything this kid does in the basketball court is loud. And I don't mean that personality wise. I mean like he's eye popping. He's a freak athlete. You honestly watch him, he's such an above the rim player. He doesn't look 6'5". He looks like 6'9". The way he just hangs on the rim and gets above people and finishes through contact. I honestly I see like as far as a current player, I feel like he's a way, way, way bigger Seth Trimble, who's also this freak athlete transition killer kind of combo guard. But Seth Trimble's 6'2", and Anthony Felici's a legitimate 6'5". I think if you get this kid, God forbid he grows a couple more inches late here, you're getting one of the best athletes in the country. I think he imposes his will physically and would just be a great fit in a Kevin Young offense, quite frankly. So I do think BYU is the team to beat. Anytime he's name dropping AJ Dybantsa and there's a relationship there, that's great. The one thing I would say that is maybe a problem here if you think BYU is going to close the deal. The AJ Dybantsa love is one thing. It's all good to hear. AJ Dybantsa won't be there next year. How much does it matter that AJ Dybantsa is recruiting Anthony Felisi if they're never going to play together, right?
I think it's actually it depends on how Dybantsa's recruiting him. If it's like, okay, come here, play with me, then obviously it means nothing. But I think if one thing I remember like growing up playing basketball, I always like looked up to the guys I would never play with that were 4 or 5 years older than me. Like, why are you playing on that AAU team? Why are you playing on that high school team? And like, you listen to what the stories they say about the coaching staff, the facilities, so on and so forth. And I think it's a great selling point that maybe in Felici's eyes, maybe the best player of his generation of like high school athletes chose that school because, and I think his word means something to Felici um, because of who's saying it. You know what I mean? Like if Paul George spoke about Fresno State the way Dybantsa speaks about BYU, does Dybantsa maybe go to Fresno State, or does he at least give them a look? Because that's kind of like one of the people he looks up to. You know what I mean? And I think it just depends on the way Dybantsa is recruiting him, but I do think it could mean something.
Yeah, it could. I mean, I don't think it doesn't mean something. It's just, I guess I'd put it this way. Going on a visit to BYU while Dybantsa's there, gonna feel a whole lot different than going on a visit to BYU when he's not there, especially if that's your boy. Like, oh, yeah, no doubt this is something you want to be a part of now. And I'm not saying it's a 1 year blip on the radar thing, but like next year, Richie Saunders is gone, AJ Dybantsa is gone. Who knows where Rob Wright will be? Kebaketa gone, I believe. So like, it's a whole new BYU a year from now. By the time Anthony Felisi would get there, I'm sure he wants to be a part of it and step into the vacated shoes that AJ is a part of. But I don't know. You go through. Shout out to On3, by the way. On3's the site that put the update out. Jamie Shaw and those guys. Go subscribe, read all the details. But they named a bunch of other schools too: Texas, Tennessee, UCLA, and he kept talking about relationships. Like Louisville, I'm a huge Pat Kelsey guy. If I went there, I know we would have a great relationship. At Houston, he talked about how Isaiah Harwell, incoming freshman, he's really good friends with, and he's in his ear about Houston. So clearly, relationships matter to Anthony Felisi. I think BYU is probably the site that has the best relationships right now, based on everything he said. But recruitments are fluid. We'll see how this changes. If he goes to BYU, is he a starter in year one based on what you see?
So far, just because like I don't know who's still going to be on the team, right? BYU kind of feels very Calipari, Kentucky-ish at the moment, where it's like so and so Mike, like Rob Wright might come back, maybe not. Like we don't know who's going to be there, who isn't going to be there. Um, Obviously, the Dybantsa won't, which like leaves a lot of openings. I think the question is. And this is why I love Felici, by the way, because if he were to hear this, he would take it personally. Does he get recruited over? Right? Because like I think for as great as Felici is, I don't think BYU's leaving without a 5-star or two. Like I think for as great as this recruiting class they're bringing in is, I think Kevin Young gets a better one this upcoming year. And does he get recruited over? I don't know. At the moment, I do believe he would start though.
Yeah, you look at like the potential comeback core because you lose to Bansa, Saunders, Kada, Dawson Baker, Boscovich is a senior. I think it would really be Rob Wright, Kennard Davis, Xavion Staten as like guys you want to build around, and then you got some depth guys at the end of the bench. But I don't know. To me, in theory, by year two, Staten's a starting center. Rob Wright, hopefully you retain as your star point guard. Kennard Davis is either your starting two or a role player. And then, regardless, this would be a fantastic fit. Felisi on the wing next to these guys. So, yeah, I think BYU is the team to beat here. That would be my read. And if BYU is the team to beat, I mean, has BYU lost on anyone that they've been the team to beat for in the last year?
No, and I don't see how they ever would. And maybe I'm drinking all the Dybantsa vlog Kool-Aid at the moment, but boy, do those vlogs look special. And I can't wait to talk about it later.
Yeah, in
But
fact, can we just segue to that? Let's go
yeah,
record that
let's
video.
go record that.